just got in the mail from you too. It is your meeting. Our internet sometimes is a little glitchy at our house with the Wi-Fi, so I am just concerned about what if we can't get up.
Worst case scenario, you can call in.
The phone.
You put in the codes and you'll just appear by phone.
Okay.
It's best if you can appear by video.
Yep.
They like to verify who's there, but if it comes down to it, you can do it by phone.
Yep.
There's not going to be a lot that will happen at the settlement conference. We're not going to be resolved at that point. And so mostly what will happen is we're going to be, at least on Michael's case, Scott can speak to where you guys are at, but we'll just be setting this for jury trial. Jury trials are suspended right now until at least February. We'll see where things are come February 1st. By that point, I would guess that they're going to have a backlog, so I would guess trial at the earliest is going to be sometime next spring. So I know you both expressed some concerns about having enough time to get things done. We will have, I think, a fairly substantial amount of time between now and trial. So
Sounds that way. The only reason why we would want to get it done as quickly as possible is because, as you know, you asked about my job, and I have charges on me, so I cannot get another job right now at this time. So it would be nice to get it done as quickly as possible. So we're really interested in the settlement piece of it to see what everybody's looking at. Have you talked to them about what we're possibly...
Well, I have with Michael. Unfortunately, they're looking at the top count, which is a second-degree assault, and that one is a presumptive commit to prison. The only thing they've offered is a bottom-of-the-box offer right now. Well, not right now, but...
So repeat that again. The second degree, you're saying they're not letting that go, or?
Not at this point. Their offer would be to plead to the second-degree assault. The presumptive commit is 27 months, but the box that fits in would be 23 to 32. To resolve it, they would offer 23 months in prison.
So,
no way.
Just so you know.
And that's why I was suggesting that come next Wednesday we're just going to be setting this for trial. Because we're not close to a resolution.
I would like to point out that in these videos, every officer was informed. I bet you at least 20 times, at least it was brought up. Dispatch told all the officers. Officers called back and asked. It's all over the place with this restraining order. We had a restraining order. Okay, we still have a restraining order. He violated the restraining order. It says that in the police reports even. Sergeant Gross said that if Lucas in fact broke the restraining order, that he would be arrested. And look at what day is today. He's still not arrested, number one. Number two, they've made up 6 or 7 different stories about what they think I did.
If you listen to those tapes...
If you watch all those videos...
We've gotten over...
All anybody does is make up whatever they feel like.
First it was a brick.
And me, Wendy, and our family keep sticking to the same story.
Yeah.
Just to take in a couple of pieces here, for our purposes here, whether Mr. Wojtaszek should have been charged with violating the restraining order, we can debate that. I mean, maybe there's no debate. Maybe he should have been arrested.
Absolutely, there's no debate. He should have been.
Okay.
Rules 500 feet.
Yeah, the existence of a restraining order, though, doesn't get rid of the claim that you assaulted him. And so that's the defense.
But yeah, he can assault me and get by with it because Brian Mittendorf does favors for the police, and I have that as evidence. We have that as evidence.
But it's not a defense to the second-degree assault that you have a restraining order against him. Those are separate
No,
issues.
but Brian Mittendorf is a malicious prosecutor. That's why he's not the prosecutor on the case no more. But he's the one who signed off on the papers in the first place.
Well, he's the county.
I have proof.
He's the
He's
county
the county
attorney.
attorney.
Well, whatever. He's malicious.
So
He's
because,
malicious. He's guilty.
because the
of that.
HRO was not followed by the law,
Or
why?
enforced.
Paused. To put things into perspective for people, Lucas drove past our house threatening to beat the shit out of us and asking to fight for the 2 years previous to this incident happening. So by all means, he asked for a fight. I was invited to a fight. I did have permission to assault him. Unpause.
Can anybody answer? Out of 10 officers, why wasn't that judge's order followed?
Either Mr. Wonderlich or I
Because
are
this should be thrown out.
able to decide whether
Everything
somebody
should
gets
be
charged
thrown
with
out.
something or not.
It won't be thrown out.
They also decided that they were
We're
going to
gonna fight
arrest
for it.
Wendy 40 minutes before they actually did.
Hold on. So, it's one of those two wrongs don't make a right, or in this case,
How about 50 wrongs on their part?
maybe
Okay.
you need to just calm down. Maybe 3 wrongs don't make a right. Yeah, he shouldn't have driven by the house. The cops should have arrested him. But those two things don't make it okay to throw something at his car.
And
Yeah,
yet we've
because
made the
if
claim
that
of self-defense,
shouldn't-
right?
If that didn't happen first,
Yeah, if we go to
then
trial,
this
we got
wouldn't
that.
have happened.
No,
noted
we've
on.
already claimed
That's not a
self-defense.
defense, though. I mean, it makes sense, but it's not a legal defense.
Yeah. Self-defense is a defense that we would potentially.
You know what else is
try.
not
Okay, let's
legal?
hear what
The
self-defense
police's
is then,
refusal
like you
to
said.
uphold the restraining order or respect the judge's orders.
Yeah, but that's not a defense in your case.
That's
Okay,
hearsay.
so how
That's
about
just what
the-
you say.
Let's hear
That's
what,
just your opinion.
okay.
Well, it's my
Okay,
opinion
let's
as well,
listen
but-
to what everybody has to say.
Okay. So far I hear they don't
Self-defense.
want to stand up and fight for us.
No, I know that for sure.
That's not what either of us are saying. What we're trying to
Sure
make you
is.
understand is you keep focusing on there's a restraining order and so all of this should go away.
He assaulted me. That's why I got the restraining order on him. Now, don't you understand? That's how I had to protect myself when he came at me in violation of the restraining order. And this has been going on for 2 years. It goes back to at least 2018. Also, the officers have been threatening me and Wendy for the last 2 years. The last time we called the cops on Luke for coming by and violating the restraining order, A, they told us, deal with it yourself, and B, if you call the cops on Lucas again and we have to come and deal with this matter, you two will be arrested, not Lucas. Once
There's
again,
that conspiracy.
selective enforcement, police misconduct,
Tell
these
us
things
about that
matter.
that you mentioned in the email. You said we can look into this if there is some basis to make a claim that the officers are lying about their testimony.
Are you guys aware
have
that both of
many
those police
times.
departments are under investigation right now?
Are you guys aware of that?
Have you been notified?
That Morrison County and Piers is under investigation.
Well, I know you guys have reported it. Here's the thing. For your case, which is very different from his, you're charged with gross misdemeanors.
Well,
Now, the problem is, so you're obviously not looking at going to prison.
I don't care. Everything needs to be wiped off, though. is
yeah,
what
the
I
charges
want.
will be dropped.
Not going to
All
call for
charges.
anything else.
Well,
So let me tell
you
you.
can have a choice of
Tell me what you
you
would
can have
have.
a choice of settlement of the case or go to trial. And if you go to trial, then you go to trial, and if you lose, you lose.
What is the settlement that you're offering me that they said?
I'm not offering a settlement right now. You haven't sounded like you're the least bit interested in a settlement. And just 30 seconds ago you said
Right.
the charges have to be wiped out.
Right.
I can guarantee you they're not going to just
I just
drop.
wanted to know
Unless
if
we win the
they
trial.
offered something
If you win the trial, yes.
They
for
have
my
not.
case.
There's not been a settlement offer.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
I haven't approached them about a settlement because from everything you've said, you aren't interested in settlement.
That's just fine.
So, but then when you
Correct.
came in here, you said you wanted to talk about a settlement.
No, just because it's the
We don't know what it
settlement
means.
hearing.
Tell her what it means.
The name of a settlement hearing is what we wanted to talk about, and we wanted
It's a
to hear if they had something they were throwing onto the table.
There
If
will
they
be.
don't, then right,
We
I am
can
going for,
certainly discuss a settlement. We can discuss a settlement of the case.
and the settlement is what I was wondering if they were going to drop charges.
I don't see them dismissing the charges.
Okay, then
That-
you're
then
correct.
there's
We're
no
going to
reasoning
trial.
to settle.
We're not going to talk about it. That, yeah, I don't need to talk about settlement.
We'll take it to a trial and we'll appeal it.
That's what we're doing.
Your only
what
trial,
we're gonna do.
your only settlement would be dismissal. The only settlement you would accept is
Yes.
a dismissal of both counts.
Yes.
The whole world is in crisis right now. How can you guys even push court crap through? That's so stupid. It's all about the money, isn't it? It's not about people's safety. That's for sure. These videos prove that nobody's safety was taken into consideration except for Lucas,
Okay, so
the guy who's friends with all the cops.
okay, we need to
They
check.
treated him. Oh, hang on.
Yep.
They violated my civil rights. What was that thing we saw? That's part of your guys' deal too. You told me it wasn't, but it is.
Discrimination.
Yeah, you're supposed to make sure that I'm not being discriminated upon as my lawyer, and in this case,
He was called violent Asperger's disease, and it was known. It was shot out throughout the whole police force. That is a wrong term. I'm a special ed teacher,
And they
I
knew that.
am certified in autism, and he does not have autism.
and there's no such thing as dangerous Asperger's syndrome.
Not a thing.
That is fake.
So
That
that's-
was
that's
deliberately
the thing.
said to make
That
me
was the
sound
first thing.
worse, like a monster,
Okay,
and that's
no.
all they've done.
What they
That doesn't-
did.
That doesn't go into trial. I mean, obviously.
Yes, it will. I'll be blabbing it all over the place.
That's
It's going on
going
the internet
in
too,
trial.
bud.
That's going in
Well,
show.
what I'm saying is they're not going to be able to testify that what they think your diagnosis is. They're not qualified to do that.
They've been notified. It's well documented. So, there you go, bud.
But I don't.
I don't know why you're so hostile about this.
I'm not hostile. I'm
Yeah,
telling
yeah.
you, I'm stating the facts.
Listen,
to you.
listen.
That's part of my
We
disability.
have laser assault rifles aimed at us since this day. I haven't gotten sleep. We have been
We have nightmares about
nightmares.
this, and you
I
guys
have
do
gone to
not
mental
care.
health professionals to talk about this. Okay, this is not fun for us, and we're not happy about it at all. All of these things that is corrupt.
Did you
what they
listen to
were
the phone
doing.
call I had
They have
with
been
Gross?
doing this for 18 months or more. So the information.
No.
Yeah, of course he didn't. Why not?
What part of it did you ask?
He just admitted that he didn't listen to one of the tapes.
Okay, which one was that?
The one where I'm on
911 call?
911 with Gross.
We're gonna listen to you. Got your.
So you guys are picking and choosing what evidence you want to look at.
We're gonna pop that.
That's
in
against the
right now.
law.
Okay.
You're supposed to be defending us, not telling us we're fucked up shit creek without a paddle. Both of you. Shame on you.
Whoever said that.
You need to just stop.
This meeting will end if you're going to be like this.
I got nothing else to say. Go and say what you want.
If
We
you have nothing
need-
else to say, then we're
No, I mean, I'm
listen.
all ears.
He's
I'm
going.
willing to hear you out.
Okay. Where is a recording device so that we can listen to those tapes? We talked about doing that.
Yep.
We have points of it. We're not going to listen to all of them.
David sent you the.
Yeah, I have them, but
Yeah,
you need
so
a recording
let's watch 'em.
device.
I don't think we need to watch them
Why?
together.
Why? Why not? Because it proves our innocence? Is that why?
That's what
What
we
is
were
it?
here to do.
Yeah. That's.
We talked
This is our
about
defense.
going
We're talking about
over-
our defense, you
We
guys.
set up arrangements for you to watch them. You didn't want to do it that way, so we sent you the.
We don't want to be exposed to your guys'
I
government
said-
COVID.
Okay, do I need to
Operation
get out
you
my
have?
last
That's fine.
emails?
You've been able to watch the videos. You can watch them. as
Yeah,
many times
and then
as you
it's
And I
clear
said,
that you
let
haven't
me
watched
talk,
the video.
Michael.
Go ahead.
These tapes that we watched, in the last email I said, we're meeting to talk about the tapes.
We're talking about the
We're
tapes, so
going
what do
to
you want to
look
talk
at
about?
different clips that
Well,
we're going to look
you
at
could-
We don't need
to
to sit
see.
and watch the
You
videos.
couldn't answer the first question I had, first of all.
What was the first
Okay.
question?
So
You know what it was. You can't remember? What a crappy lawyer.
with respect to your case, not his.
Yeah.
Never mind.
The things that happened, happened. They're not on the squad video. You can hear the cop telling you, "I told you to stay over here." None of that shows up on the squad video. You can hear a little bit of it.
You can hear all of it.
It's going to be the people who were in the room are going to testify as to what happened. You can say your side of things. The cops are going to say theirs.
And we have 5.
We have witnesses to testify against too, so
And if they were in the room and saw
They
what
were.
was happening,
they absolutely were.
if they were in the room and saw what was happening, so who all do you have? Because I know you gave me, I think, 3 before.
Julie Logreen, Mike.
Wasn't he already hauled out?
It depends upon what point we're talking about.
We're
See,
talking about the point where the cop
Okay, when I was
had
arrested.
an
Okay.
altercation
let him say
Then
it.
it was, okay.
with you.
Say it again.
Who was
Okay,
there?
then it was Julie and Donovan. And he has disabilities. He cannot be questioned alone. So he needs to have his mother with, or Jen, the sister, with, because they are his PCAs.
Okay.
Okay, so he was in the room. He was about 5 feet away from me the whole time.
So all this other stuff that you want to talk about with respect to, violating the OFP, the guy driving by, that's not relevant to what happened in your case. Your case is going to be what happened in that room in that few seconds of time.
Liar.
Okay?
She was assaulted by the police.
And
The one thing I am going to make sure that it's said, and if you don't say it, I will say it to the judge so it's on record, that this wouldn't have happened if this guy wouldn't have been aiming his truck at us, and this whole thing started with him aiming a gun at us and coming at us.
And Eric Hennigan
I wouldn't
knew.
have had any interaction with the police, and they wouldn't have been inside of the house.
And same with
So
me.
I'm going to start with that,
The same with me.
and that's what we're going
Yeah,
to say.
because Luke violated the restraining order.
that won't help you.
Yes, it will. You're a liar.
That won't help you.
We'll see.
It's not relevant. The cops were in the house, and the question is what happened while they were in there.
Okay,
He
here's what
assaulted
happened.
everyone.
Let me explain what happened. It is noted on the audio that they had planned to arrest me 54 minutes earlier. So what happened that day is relevant. They said it on the audio. Okay? One officer said Wendy was wanted for the assault that happened
Yep.
with that. Another because she ran. She can go too. 54 minutes before. No officer told me to stop or said my name as I walked into the house. You can see on video. You can hear in other audios where the police are saying she didn't stop. She was running. I told her to stop. I told them, not true. Watch the video as I took 4 steps into the house. They never said my name. They never told me to stop.
There was also 2 other people that went in the door that same time.
There were
Aren't mentioned.
4 of us.
4
walked
people there.
into the house. Okay, and this is how it all started. And they're trying to arrest or get into the house on some kind of charges that they're trying to make up.
So 4 people walk in the door, and because the cop runs up to the door, he chased us and we ran. That's bullshit.
In the audio, you can hear that they
Pardon my
confused
French.
Julie with Wendy. They confused us. They told Julie to sit down. Gross turned me around to arrest me. I was not fighting, never kicked at officers. You can hear me say, "Really? You're gonna do this?" I was calm. You can hear that in the video. They pulled me up by my arms. Okay, first Gross did. Pulled me up by my arms against my back. Pushed me up against the cabinet. Pulled me up to the point where my feet were dangling off the ground. My feet, I am 5'2". They're 6 feet. The cabinet was about this high on the ledge, and they had me up, smashed into it. My knees were up. what happens when your knees get up? My foot would be right in the.
So if they weren't jamming their big fat bodies into her backside, they wouldn't have made any contact with her at all. They shoved themselves on her.
Okay, this is my proof that we're going to talk about, and I'm glad you're writing this down. My foot would have been at the same height as his thigh.
So just because he humped her shoe doesn't mean she kicked him.
There is also audio that is blanked out.
Yeah, all over the place. Why do they keep turning their microphones off and on if they're such good, honest officers doing the law properly? No, they're acting above the law and
they shut off
making up stories.
their lapels during the time that I was arrested. It clicks in and out when they're talking to me. It's heard that I'm yelling many times, "You're hurting me, you're hurting me." Do they ever say, "Wendy, you kicked me, stop kicking, stop fighting, No, they don't. Not until Cheetah, because he had it in to try to make it look like I was fighting. When we were I'm walking out, and he says, "Turn your wrist." And I turned my wrist, and he said, "Stop fighting. Don't fight, Wendy." And I said, "I'm not fighting. I'm done." And that's where that "I'm done" came in. That Worley said in his response from the complaint board. I said, "Oh, I'm done. I have better ways to deal with this than that. I'm not going to sit there and fight." And I never had fought. So, when I was arrested for assaulting a police officer. That's what actually happened in that situation when he was saying that I kicked him.
Good question here. When they kicked in the door and came in right away, if they had already decided that both me and Wendy were in fact under arrest, correct? Yes, they did. It's in the videos. We will prove it to you if you guys ever watch them with us, but you refuse. Okay?
We watched those videos.
No, you haven't. You just admitted to me like 20 minutes ago that you didn't watch one of the videos. And I'll bring that back up. Okay, so I told you, I asked you if you caught that audio of me and Gross having a phone call, and you told me no. So you did not view that. You admitted that. I have that on tape right now.
I haven't listened to that one. I watched the other videos where they're outside.
But you're supposed to view all of the evidence.
So
Do it.
they
When?
said that
After
they
it's too
were
late?
planning on arresting me. They came into the doors and they just
the
went
question
to Mike. A little bit later, after Mike was out the door, you can hear them. They were struggling with Julie, and Julie is a witness. She will say they were pushing her down and saying, "Sit down, ma'am, sit down." And Donnie, the brother in the background, was saying, "Mom, fuck, don't do this or I'm going to be fucked if you go to jail." So he was talking to Mom because she said, "Where's my daughter? I want to know where my daughter is. Why are you hurting my son?" And then you hear me say, "Really? You're going to do this?" And they arrested me.
So about 10 minutes in on these videos, it's clearly heard. Is Wendy wanted for the assault too? Yep, she ran, so she can go to jail too. Okay, when they kicked in the door, they ran over, dealt with me, ripped me out the door. They should have arrested us both at the exact same time, or within 15, 30 seconds of each other. They waited how many minutes and then just grabbed Wendy out of nowhere and threw her in cuffs?
What law says that you get to decide when they arrest people?
Well, I'm telling you right now, and we'll tell the judge and anybody else, we'll tell the whole world. I don't really care. They set us up.
That was just one more piece.
They set you up to throw a wrench or whatever
No.
Listen.
in his car?
No, they set us up by refusing to enforce the restraining order for the last 2 years, first of all. That's what brought the incident about. We were forced to protect ourselves.
But now when we're talking about my arrest, they set me up and they wanted to arrest me so that I couldn't bail him out. Because
She
they
told
knew that
them
I was a
that they
witness.
broke the law and that we were going to sue them. And then they knew that she was going to bail me out of jail, so they arrested her too out of spite.
What they
That's our claim.
You for when they said stay back, stay over here.
They didn't say that.
They didn't say that.
They said that to Julie.
They say that you resisted, and then
Buchin.
the cop has got into a physical altercation
One at a time.
where you obstructed and kicked him.
That's your claim.
I just
No,
said
that's what
that
they
that's
said.
what they have.
That's their claim. And we've never been questioned about it. We've never been able to give our story.
I want to hear that one more time. What did they claim that I did?
When they told you to stay back from where he was being arrested, they say you advanced, and you can hear him on the tape where the guy says, "I told you to stay over here," and that's pretty much as you hear. And that's when they say that you kicked the cop and obstructed him, trying to struggle.
Okay, and do you hear my counterclaim? They got me and Julie mixed up. His mother was the one trying to say, "Don't hurt my son." She was right there in the same room with Mike. I was in another room, that far away. I could see what was going on, but I was sitting crouched. I was like this the whole time, watching.
If these
And
asshole
Julie
officers
was
had
the-
body cams, this wouldn't be
That's
such
what
an issue, would it,
happened.
guys?
You didn't know that they
Well, they
confused
would,
it.
but they don't.
They
And why don't they?
confused me with Julie.
Because
And
they're
you
crooks.
confused-
Money and crooks. Aha. Thank you.
Money to spend on the cameras.
Yeah, it's all about the money.
So you're
We
saying
need to get through the day. Okay? We need to get through this.
well, I'm going to get through it.
So are you going to
Pig.
tell them my side of the story of what happened?
Yes.
Okay.
And the prosecutor, who works with the cops and used to be a cop, is going to say, the cops say it went this way, so that's what I believe. That's what he will say.
How are you going to defend me?
Well, there are a couple things we can do, but you've already taken some of it off the table. Okay?
Nah.
Explain.
You've already said one of the ways I can defend you is to try to negotiate something for you. You've already said the only thing you'll consider is an absolute, complete dismissal.
Yeah, because
So
it's
then that's off the table.
bullshit all along the way.
So you've taken that
Yeah.
tool out of the toolbox.
Okay.
So negotiating,
So you can't do anything else?
well, we'll go to trial.
And how are you going to defend me in trial? Explain to me what you're going to do for
I'm
me.
going to put you on the witness stand to testify. And if your witnesses have anything valuable to say, I'll put them up there too. And these cops are going to take the witness stand.
Who decides whether it's valuable or not?
They're going to say, I do. The cops are going to give their side of it. And the jury's going to decide if they believe the
I
cops
think that's a
or
lie.
if they believe you.
Yeah. And so,
So, I mean,
tell me.
unfortunately, that's really what you've kind of got it down to, because you've said you're not going to discuss a settlement. Now, right now, you've got a fourth-degree assault, which I assume costs you your teaching license.
No.
A fourth-degree assault on a cop
Does it?
won't cause you any problems with trying to be a teacher?
Are you trying to intimidate her right now?
No, I'm trying to tell
Are
her.
you sure?
I'm trying to tell you that you have things you might want to consider
Just wanted
as far
to
as
make
trying
sure
to
myself.
resolve your case.
Uh-huh.
But you've said you're not interested in resolving it.
That's right.
So, ultimately, that's your choice.
Okay.
I don't accept a plea offer for you. You have to be the one who
Yep.
accepts any offer.
That's right.
Now, if you could get some sort of an offer that took the fourth-degree assault off, who knows?
You still never told me how you're going to defend me.
That's
Explain
true.
to me what you're
We're
going
going-
to do to
We're
defend
going to
me.
have a trial.
And what are you going to say to defend me?
I'm going to ask questions, because at a trial, you just put witnesses up and ask questions.
What
Questions.
evidence are you
Questions. Questions. Questions.
going to supply to the courts? That was before we go to the Zoom trial. It says that if there's any exhibits to give to the court, that either you or I should be doing that. Are there exhibits that are going to be presented at the Zoom meeting?
Well, first of all, this meeting isn't going to be any sort of a trial. This is a short hearing.
Right, but I want to be sure in my question.
Right.
Answer.
There are not going to be any exhibits at the pre-trial.
Okay. What information?
Sounds like
you
we don't
said-
even need to be there.
Okay. You said.
There's a show warrant.
No, really, I mean, you gotta put your hand up and say, here, and then everybody gets to talk, you guys get to say what you want, they get to say what they want, and then we get to sit there silent and we get to say, yes ma'am, no ma'am, and that's about all we get.
It's a settlement conference. This is not the trial.
Sure, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, you're not going to have anything to say at a settlement conference because you're represented.
How come we never get any chance to say anything?
That's what trial is about.
But you guys were just acting at the beginning of this like trial was so big and scary and bad and it wouldn't help nobody for nothing. And that was kind of the vibe you guys were given. I don't know. I got a question.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got to ask any questions.
Question.
What officer did I allegedly kick? Which one? Give me a name.
Arresting you
No, give me a name. Nobody claimed they kicked me. They
Okay,
forgot to write
let's
down
work.
who I kicked. So I didn't kick anybody then. And
Give
I
him
have
time.
witnesses proving
Give him
that.
time. What's he gonna say?
Your bigger issues are what happened before that. Everything
I was attacked
Everything
and I
that
protected
happened inside
myself.
the house is a gross misdemeanor or a misdemeanor. So your bigger issue is the second degree
Okay,
assault.
answer me this, either one of you. What is the crime and the charge when somebody comes, drives past you, swerves at you, and points a loaded gun at you? What would the charge be for that? I am curious.
That would typically be an assault with a deadly weapon, most likely.
Pause. That means Lucas assaulted us with a deadly weapon twice over before he was ever assaulted by anybody else. We were in our yard where we belong. He was not where he belongs. He was in a yard where he does not belong. He's supposed to stay 500 feet off of my property.
Interesting.
I'm not the one that makes the charging decision, so
No, it's the crooked cops and the crooked prosecutor.
Okay, so
So-
the same thing for you, or because
You know the crooked mayor advised Luke to stay 500 feet away last summer? We got that in writing.
well, and that's all.
Okay, so you're saying with his settlement then, what's on the table again is that his second degree assault would stay there,
That's their offer.
but everything else would drop.
Everything else would drop, but you'd go to prison for 23 months.
Okay, so what do you,
Then we counter offer the opposite. They don't give us much choice, do they?
what
Or
do
we
you
take it
think?
to a trial like you dude said.
Yeah, that's what you.
I don't know, we're
And
stuck.
that's where I started.
Well, we'll talk about. We're not going to make any final decisions about his right now, but that no way is he.
Can you
going to
guys
prison.
explain to us?
That's why I anticipate next Wednesday just being we're telling the court we're not resolved and we're setting
Okay.
a trial.
When you said we have given all the reports, videos, audio recordings, and all disclosure, I sent a supplemental request to make sure
Yep.
we have everything that exists. I believe. Okay. I want a list of what you all have.